Hello, everybody. This is Mike from Nymphs, Knots, and Nonsense, and it is fall here in New England. It is almost October, and that means two things. Number one, they start stocking all of our lakes and ponds with trout. And number two, an incredibly related development, it is blob season. So this is a blob. They're a fly that gained notoriety in Old England for people fishing on the big reservoirs and the big locks. And they use these. They're really two kinds of flies. One is it has all this fluffy material and it wiggles and it just makes the fish mad. They don't know why. They just know that they have to eat it, so they bite it. And the second use or the second thing that it imitates is a cluster of spawning mating Daphnia. Daphnia are water fleas. They're itty bitty little crustaceans, and they live in a lot of ponds. And in some ponds, there's so many Daphnia that they become a food source, and the trout go around like whales with their mouth open, just swallowing down all the Daphnia. At any rate, it's a fun fly to tie, even though the fibers are a little bit unruly. Materials for this fly, you need thread, obviously. This is just my usual 70 denier in black. You need this magical material called Fritz. And the one I have here is FNF jelly in color Magma. I also have an FNF jelly in the color Hulk. Yes, this does get fun when you tie these. Okay, so hot magma and Hulk. I also use a bead. This is a 2.4 millimeter fluorescent orange bead, and you need a hook, obviously. So for this fly, I used a Hannock buzzer, so a curved chironomid hook in size 10 for competition. Probably overkill for what we're going to do. Maybe your first couple of these you should try a straight shank hook instead of a curved hook. This is a pretty easy fly to tie. Just start. I've got my bead on my hook mounted in the vise, and I'm just going to start my thread, cut off the excess, work the thread back to the bend of the hook. Well, in this case, it's a scud hook, so it's all one bend, but I'm going to take it back to about where it should be, which is there. I'll take a chunk of my Magma Jelly Fritz. And what you'll notice about these is that the fibers are one-dimensional. So you see that core that's in there, and all the fibers stick up in one direction. So what I want to do is place this so that the fibers point towards me. Then when I start to wrap it, they'll stand up away from the hook. I'm just going to wrap that in here, and you start loose and make it tighter. And this is all that's holding this in there. So you want to really kind of anchor it down pretty well. Okay, so that's anchored down there pretty well. I'm just going to go halfway up the hook. If the bead moves like that, you almost always bump it and it moves up, don't worry about it too much. I will add a half hitch here. Okay, so I got a half hitch. Move my bobbin cradle up and hang my tying thread off of that bobbin cradle. Now for wrapping this, the thing that you always have to do with this, because it's very unruly, you always have to give it strokes to the back to pull the material towards the rear of the hook as you wrap. So here I'm going to go, and you'll see why it always wants to try to escape to the front. So just grab it, sweep it back with your fingers, make more wrap. I usually skewer myself with a hook about 5 million times doing this. It's all fun and games. Okay, but we're throwing on our magma. Okay, until we get to that halfway point-ish. You won't be able to see it very well because, well, it's just all sorts of crazy. If you notice that you're getting clumps or spots that don't have a lot of this Fritz fibers there, then probably what's happening is you're not pruning it or preening it to the back like you should. And as the core of the Fritz goes over the top of itself, it'll mat down the fibers. So if that happens, just unwind it, wind it back. Now I'm here where I tied off my thread, and I'm just going to make a big loop over the top. And I'm going to make several wraps right over the top of each other, trying to match them up so that way I don't widen that tie-in point. Okay, take that and cut off the extra there. Okay, now I'm going to make sure my bead is a little bit more well behaved and pull back and give it a couple wraps like that. All right. And so what that does is it pulls it all back. So when I start adding my yellow will have room to actually be placed. The next material is Hulk. It is the Fritz in color Hulk. So nice green, give me the Gamma formula color there. And we're just going to place the end there, tie it in. Same thing, you want it facing towards you. It's a little bit harder because of things, but you want it so that the fibers face you so that when you wrap it, they stand up. Okay, that's pretty good. Taking it back up here to where my bead is, and I'll half hitch it there. Use the bobbin cradle again, and we will start wrapping it again. Okay, this guy. Okay, also when I usually go rotary with stuff, I'll usually just hold and spin and twist my fly and just hold the material steady. With this, I found that I'll rotate my fly just a little bit, sweep the fibers back, and then wrap over the top of that more manually. So I'm basically using the rotary vise more incremental than one smooth wrapping circular motion. Okay. One caveat here or warning which is that when you get close to that bead, you want to not crowd the bead with material. And I think I've got one more, and then I am gonna have to be done. Okay, well, yep, I'll wrap that. And now I want to wrap over the Fritz, but right next to that bead. Because I can see that bead, it's fluorescent orange, and I just want to wrap right around the back of it. So that way I'm tight to the back, because if you go too far to the right towards the eye, then you're wrapping over the bead, and your wraps get a lot looser. If you do it too far back, then you leave a gap. Bobbin cradle down. I've got a handful of wraps over that, and now I'm just going to cut it off. Do the fingers, make a little triangle, pull all that material back. I didn't do it so well the first time. There we go. Now I can throw in some wraps right there behind the bead. Okay. And I think we're looking good. It's time now, half hitch it. And give it a whip finish. Which is always the fun part of these because they're so unruly. Okay. Cut off my thread. Maybe. Okay. And one last step, which is to give it a little bit of glue. And so what I'm going to do is to take my bodkin, pull my fiber back, get a little drop of cement there, place the needle or the bodkin, and then pull the bodkin back to place that glue where I want it. Now I'm going to do the same this way. Place the bodkin and pull it back to put that glue right where I want it. Now give a little bit of a teasing so all the fibers stand up. And that, my friends, is a blob. As always, the YouTuber thing, like, subscribe, tell me where I suck, tell me where I'm good, and I will see you in the next video.